All right, I'm waiting on some other parts on the 4runner. So for now, I would like to get my transmission cooler mounted. What I'm gonna do is I have this Hayden 678 transmission cooler, and I wanna get this mounted over here on somewhere on the grill. So, and I wanna build a bracket, I think, to bring this down. And let me grab this. So, I'd like to have a bracket that should tuck in nicely right here in front of the AC condenser. So for now, I'm gonna take a look at this and see if I can build a little simple bracket out of some straps and get it tied in. So figure out what I'm doing. I'm gonna build this up and I'll show you what I did. Alright, let's test fit this guy in here. Alright, now that bracket's there, get an idea of where I want the holes for this to be. If I drop this right about here, it gives me an area for me to run a hose there and around, and then on the bottom, I don't know if you can see in there, but just run down there and around. So the next piece I need to build is this. Figure out what I'm doing over here, and I think the simple thing is just, honestly, it may just be to tie one single tie-in over here. I just run a flat bracket there, and then run a piece over that bolts it here or whatever here. Anyway, I'm gonna mark up my holes on the left side of this, drill those out, get this left side mounted. I got a little late last night, and I was out here using the drill press and the grinder like almost 11 o'clock, and didn't realize it. So I decided I'd just pack it in for the night and finish this today. So what I ended up with last night is I ended up with just my left side bracket. It's got my holes drilled for top and bottom, and then my holes where I'm going to mount the actual cooler itself. So looks decent. It'll get a coat of paint and look a little better. I kind of hit it with the grinder and cleaned it up. So now I need to create the right side bracket for it, for this side, and then get everything put together. So I'm going to work on that today. Before I do anything though, I'm probably going to run to Ace and go grab some hardware, because I do want to put some nuts on the back side of these, just to weld them, because I don't want to be reaching in there and holding it while trying to bolt everything back together and having things fall off. I'd rather just have a captured nut so I don't have to worry about that. What I need to do is I need to weld those capture nuts on the back so that I can bolt it in place properly. So I'm going to do that now. Tag right there. Oh, look like crap. Perfect. So there it is, bolted and it's firm. And it bolts. There's these factory holes to this lower support bracket here, and so the bracket just sits back here, which gives it a really straight, kind of perfect run on here. And then the mounting holes here. So this bracket is right where I think I need it to be. So I'm going to bolt the cooler to it, and then we'll measure out and figure out the right side bracket. All right, well, I'm an idiot, and I used the wrong size bolts. I don't know why I thought these would work, but they are just a smidge too big. So I already have those nuts welded to the back. I could pull those off and put smaller ones on there. I'm not going to do that. This part doesn't matter, right, for this cooler. So as far as its function, so I'm just going to drill those out. No biggie. Just open those up just a hair. So if you're doing this on your own, get the right nut size for that, nut and bolt size for that. So a little error on my behalf, but it shouldn't change if you're trying to do this on your own, as long as you get the right stuff. Okay, so I need to build this right side bracket and figure out what is it bolting to. All right, I get my holes drilled here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and weld my capture nuts on here, basically bolt this up in place and then figure out where I want that other bracket to be. There's like the slightest little angle here, and so I'm kind of undecided if like I would like to intentionally put that little bit of angle in there. I think I might, just because mean, I'm gonna wing it, to be honest. And I guess I could always put it on there and give it a little bend, but it's gonna be all right. So let me unbolt this thing again, pull it off. I know I've got it marked where I need to tack it, and then I have my hole marked as well. Just enough to hold it. And I'm just gonna test fit it, make sure that the angle on that is right. Get the piece welded on. The weld is awful, but that's okay. Grinder and paint, right? Make me what I ain't. So I'm gonna grind that sucker down and then pop my hole right there, and then put everything back together for a final test fit before I paint everything. And all right, this thing is fully mounted up. Got my brackets in place on both sides. I did end up bolting to this section right here. So that sits back there. It seems pretty sturdy. There is, and I guess there's a little bit of play at the bottom here. I don't really think, I mean, I have to pull on that. I mean, there's just much play in most of the stuff up here. Do you think that's gonna be a problem? I'm gonna put the little rubber isolators on there. I'm not sure if those make a huge difference, but what do you guys think? Do you think that should require another bracket? For now, I think I'm just gonna leave it, and if it becomes a problem later, I can add one in. So you guys let me know if you think that needs another bracket, if you've got experience running one of these. I mean, normally, honestly, my thought is that normally these things get zip tied through the condenser here. And so for me, I think that this is way ahead of that already. So I'm pretty comfortable with where it is for now, but if you guys disagree, I'd like to hear it out. So, all right, here's both my brackets fully painted up. You know, ready to go on the truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all bolted up and put it on the truck now. Go. That is mounted. Almost looks like it's supposed to be there. I'm just gonna run my lines down to the transmission, and we're good to go, and it's done. So thanks for bearing with me here. This is the first video I've actually made, and I'm kind of getting used to explaining things. I did a lot of editing on this video and realized that I don't think I did as good of a job kind of explaining exactly what I've done here. So I'm just going to give just kind of a quick little overview of exactly what I did on this project in case anybody has any questions. So these trucks have a factory transmission cooler that goes through the radiator. I wanted to eliminate that and go with an external cooler to prevent any transmission of fluids between the cooling system and the for the engine coolant and the cooling system for the transmission. So I wanted to isolate each system. So that's why I've installed this. When I built this, I basically just took a piece of standard, 3/4 of an inch strap steel. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and cut it down and added this piece right here. Welded that piece on, which I didn't do a great job of explaining in the video because I just kind of time-lapsed through it. And then I created the right side piece, which is just a straight piece with a single arm that sticks off to the right that bolts in here. So the bolting locations are right here, which was the factory location for the horn. And then the lower section right here, which I did show. And then I put 2 holes in the kind of the middle area here to actually bolt the cooler to the bracket itself. So to the truck, to the truck, to the bracket, to the bracket. And then over here, it's just one single straight piece with bolts directly to the bracket from the cooler, and then one single arm over here that bolts to the factory hole that sits right here in the center crossbeam section. So, and then on the back side of each bracket, I put captured nuts. So I basically took just a normal nut and I welded it on the back side for this one, and the one that runs back behind this frame piece here. So none of those you don't need to hold a nut in the back to bolt them in. You just screw the bolt right in. This one I didn't have to because it's got the factory threads right there. That is where the horn bolted on. Same thing over here. There's captured nuts on the back of this, and this, because none of these have any factory threaded holes right there. So I just welded those on the back, so that makes it easy. And then I swapped out the factory bolt here. So they're all just a standard size hardware. If anybody's not aware, the cooling system for the transmission, when you set something like this up, is you want your inlet here and your outlet here. So your inlet is below and your outlet is above. I believe that's just to keep from having air in the system as it pumps through, and makes it easy to push everything out. On the factory radiator, it would be the longer hose that runs to this side, which would be the driver's side. That's your longer hose. That's your return line, and then your feed line is your shorter line. So over here I have my feed line, which is the short line, would go to the bottom. What was the original, the short line goes to the bottom, and then what would be the long line that normally goes to the driver's side of the radiator is on the upper and goes back here. So these are 11 32nd hoses that come with the Hayden kit, except there's not enough hose in the Hayden kit. So I ordered another piece of hose from 4 Seasons online. It ended up being the exact same hose that came with the Hayden kit. So I will put links below for everything that I used on this kit, just so everybody's got it. So hopefully that sums things up and makes it a little more clear. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you being here.